What would you do if you discovered that the person you loved your whole life left you an unexpected legacy? One that will lead you to discover hidden secrets and generosity you never imagined? Today we will tell you the story of Elisabeth, a widow who faced the arrogance of a banker and discovered a truth that changed her life forever. Stay with us until the end, because what Elisabetta found in the old envelope will leave you speechless. But before starting this story, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss other exciting stories like this. Elisabeth, a poor widow, found herself alone and lost after her husband's death. They lived a humble life, with barely enough money to get by. Every morning, Elisabeth woke up in the small house they had shared for decades, the walls filled with memories of a simple but happy life. The framed photographs told a story of love and sacrifice, the summer holidays at the seaside, the family dinners, the moments of joy and difficulty they had faced together. One day, while sorting through some old papers, he found a letter that changed everything. The letter, with her husband's name written in a trembling hand, contained the announcement of an inheritance. Elisabeth, confused and uncertain, decided to go to the bank to find out what had been left to her. When he arrived at the bank, the place was crowded and the banker, known for his arrogance, was paying more attention to his phone than to the customers. Elisabeth got in line, hoping the wait wasn't too long, as her legs weren't what they used to be. After a long wait, he finally managed to approach the banker. The banker, with a contemptuous smile, began to laugh when he saw Elisabeth's worn clothes and worn shoes. "Excuse me," Elisabeth said with a trembling voice, "I received this letter from my late husband and I would like to know what it is about." The banker, without even looking at the letter, arrogantly replied, "I'm sure that whatever it is, it's not worth your time, and it's definitely not worth mine. Go home." Elisabeth, her blood boiling, replied firmly, "I could get you fired, you know." The banker, a little taken aback, decided to read the letter. His expression changed dramatically as he read, and the color began to drain from his face. Elisabeth was made to sit in a waiting area, while the banker, visibly shaken, retreated to the back. Through the glass windows, Elisabeth could see the banker trembling as he held her letter, which indicated that her husband had left her something truly important. And what would you have done in Elisabetta's place? Would you have had the strength to face the arrogant banker? Let us know in the comments. After a wait that seemed endless, the bank manager approached Elisabetta. "Ma'am, there is something very peculiar about your husband's account that we need to talk about," he said in a calm but serious voice. The director explained that Elisabeth's husband had arranged everything many years before, with precise instructions on when and how it should be delivered to her. Elisabeth was taken to a safe room, where she was given a small brass key. The key opened a safe that contained not only money, but also jewelry and old photographs. Each object told a story, a chapter of their life together. He remembered when they got married, young and full of dreams, with little money but a lot of love. Elisabeth's husband was a man of few words but great gestures, and those jewels represented small sacrifices and savings accumulated over the years. But the biggest surprise was another letter, which contained a small key and an address. Her husband had left one last message, asking her to follow that address to uncover a further secret. Elisabeth, heart pounding, followed the address until she came to a simple, unmarked house. She knocked on the door, and was greeted by a young family. With his heart pounding, he explained who he was and held up the key as proof. The family, surprised but kind, invited her to sit down and offered her a cup of tea. Patiently, they began to tell their story. The benefactor who had supported them for years, in secret, was Elisabeth's husband. Elisabeth's husband had supported this family for years, helping them build a better life. Every room in the house told a story of generosity and care, revealing a dimension of the man that Elisabeth had never known. She discovered that her husband had met this family at a time of great difficulty. The head of the family, Lorenzo, had lost his job and didn't know how he could support his wife Anna and their little daughter, Sophia. That's when Elisabeth's husband stepped in, providing them with the support they needed to get back on their feet. Elisabeth began to understand the complexities of her husband, a man who had lived a life full of secrets and generosity. With an open heart, he found room for forgiveness and decided to accept the family's offer to be part of their family. Before continuing with the final part of the story, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. The support of each of you helps us create increasingly exciting and engaging content. Over the next few days, Elisabeth discovered the full extent of her husband's generosity. He had raised funds for the child's education and the family's future, ensuring they were always protected. Every day, Elisabetta spent time with Lorenzo, Anna and Sophia, learning about the details of their lives and the challenges they had faced. Little Sophia, with her eyes full of curiosity and innocence, soon became the center of Elisabeth's world, who found in her a new reason for living. Days passed and Elisabeth spent a lot of time with the young family, learning about the details of their lives and the challenges they had faced with her husband's help. She discovered that her husband had supported the family since the day the breadwinner, an old friend, lost his job. With discretion and humility, he had sent money and resources to ensure that the young couple and their daughter never lacked anything. Inspired by her husband's generosity, Elisabeth decided to found an association. She wanted to continue her husband's work, extending his love and generosity to many more people in need. Elisabeth's charity quickly took hold, raising funds and resources to help families in difficulty. Elisabeth felt she was honoring her husband's memory by turning his pain into something positive and lasting. Every day he received letters of thanks and testimonies from people who had been helped by his initiative. The community began to see her as a figure of hope and altruism, and her work did not go unnoticed. Elisabeth's days were filled with activities, meetings and planning to expand the charity's reach. It organized fundraising events, involved volunteers and partnered with other charities. Her house was filled with energy and people eager to do good, and every evening Elisabeth went to sleep with a heart full of gratitude and satisfaction. As time passed, Elisabeth's charity grew more and more. His example inspired others in the community to join the cause, and his organization soon became a point of reference for anyone in need of help. Elisabeth became a loved and respected figure, not only for her generosity, but also for her ability to touch people's hearts with her story and commitment. If this story touched your heart, we invite you to watch the next video on the end screen to discover more inspiring stories of generosity and love. Thanks for being with us, and see you next time.